Some people walk into your life masked as a twin flame, then burn through your energy like wildfire without ever contributing anything meaningful to your life. No matter how much you tend to them, nourish them, or fill the endless void they present, they continue feasting casually without remorse, soon to be off seeking their next oasis. Such individuals move through life largely unaffected by the emotional carnage they leave in their wake. Yet, they genuinely wonder why a trail of broken souls, relationships, and chaos seems to perpetually follow them, oblivious to the fact that they are indeed the cause. However, what appears on the surface to be a simple lack of self-awareness or care for how their selfishness impacts others frequently camouflages something far more complex and rooted in psychological dynamics established long before you ever crossed their path. And even if you eventually find out why they behave the way they do, you still can't change them, and you end up feeling used. Today, we're going to explore 8 behaviors of people who only use you but don't care about you. So watch till the end to find out how to eliminate them from your life. But before we dive into detail, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and turn on the notification bell to get alerted anytime we post amazing videos like this. 1. Lack of interest in anything you have to say. People who are using you tend to show very little genuine interest in who you are as a person or what you have to say. They may pretend to be engaged in conversations with you, but usually only as a means to an end. As soon as they have gotten what they need, their eyes start to glaze over. Or you may notice them looking at their phones, scanning the room, or clearly waiting for their turn to talk rather than actively listening. They don't ask thoughtful follow-up questions or retain details about your life. There is no sincere curiosity, connection, or effort to nurture intimacy through quality conversation. When you're together with other people, you'd probably see them positioning themselves near more influential people. If you try to share an idea or contribution with the group, they have no interest in hearing you out or even acknowledging you. They maintain laser focus on whomever they deem important people to align with. They don't value you or your voice except as a temporary sounding board. 2. Persistent lack of respect. If you notice someone frequently disrespecting you, then they're probably using you. When you are talking, they interrupt frequently and redirect the conversation back to themselves. If you object to any disrespectful behaviors, they dismiss, justify, or blame you for them rather than apologize. They don't take your needs, time, or property seriously. Such individuals often display a lack of respect for your privacy and boundaries. They may probe deeply into uncomfortable topics, even when you shy away from those conversations. If you deny them access to any aspect of your life, they resent you rather than respecting your right to privacy. Essentially, they treat you as an accessory to their life rather than an equal participant deserving of respect. 3. Emotional manipulation. If you ever notice when someone close to you is always playing the victim card or always making you feel guilty for not giving them what they want, then they're definitely using you. They always try to use their suffering to compel you to support them. They also have a tendency for emotional amnesia and revisionist history. If you recall them failing you in the past, they adamantly deny it and insist you are misremembering events. This makes you distrust your own memories and depend more on their usually false narrative. They rewrite the past to cast themselves as forever benevolent, so you feel compelled to continue being endlessly patient and forgiving. 4. Absence in critical moments. Have you ever noticed when someone tends to be conveniently absent when truly needed during major life challenges or crises? For instance, if you experience a painful event like a death in the family, health crisis, job loss, or assault, they don't make themselves emotionally or physically available to comfort and support you. They may briefly feign concern through a few texts or emails when first hearing the news. However, thereafter, they become impossible to access due to a myriad of excuses: sick relatives, work deadlines, travel delays. In rare crisis events, when they do make an appearance, they showcase poor listening skills, dismiss your feelings, or make the interactions all about them. but they expect you to be endlessly available when they need to vent about their insignificant problems, like a bad haircut or an argument with a neighbor. Yet, when you are in utter devastation, they remain absent for weeks or months during critical moments. These people seem to reserve their most urgent excuses for when people need them the very most. If attending to you requires real effort, empathy, or sacrifice, they will be long gone. 5. Constant competition. When someone is using you, they have this tendency to turn most aspects of the relationship into win-lose competitions. Conversations often feel like constant one-upmanship rather than supportive exchanges. If you bring up challenges at work, instead of validating your stress, they will launch into an elaborate tale about how much harder their job is or how many more hours they work each week. When you talk about financial struggles, they scoff about how little money you make compared to them. On your birthday, they find ways to redirect attention back to their upcoming birthday, which must be bigger and better. Even when you share successes like a promotion, they find a way to angle the conversation to become about their jealousy and why they deserve success more than you. They can never simply congratulate you. Your triumphs always ignite their competitive ego. In general, your setbacks and obstacles become opportunities for them to assert their superiority, while your victories turn into threats, triggering their insecurity and need to minimize you. 6. Disregard for your needs or feelings. If someone close to you disregards your needs or feelings, then they're using you. For instance, if you must decline a request due to exhaustion, they get extremely annoyed rather than accept your needs for rest and healthy boundaries. However, when they feel tired, cranky, or short on time, they cancel on you at the last minute without remorse. Their needs warrant understanding and flexibility, while yours inconveniences them. When you share emotions like grief, insecurity, or heartbreak, expecting empathy and reassurance, they shift the subject back to themselves or even ridicule you for being what they perceive as weak or dramatic. Yet, you are expected to provide endless emotional labor as their sounding board whenever they vent about their feelings and problems, no matter how small or repetitive the issue may be. They pry with invasive questions that make you uncomfortable, but dodge that same level of vulnerability about their own lives. There are double standards about whose feelings should be shared, handled gently, and made a priority based on what suits their agenda. Ultimately, they disregard your needs and use your care for them without reciprocating. 7. Superficial closeness. When someone wants to use you, they try to establish a sense of quick closeness with you, but deep down, the depth is lacking. They begin to share too much information about themselves too quickly, leaving you uneasy. Not only do you feel pressured to reciprocate the same level of intimate disclosure before you are ready, but eventually you realize they never ask meaningful follow-up questions about what you share. They also tend to frequently compliment your best qualities, insist the two of you have so much in common, and say you are one of the few who truly get them. Yet, if you probe deeper into their hobbies, passions, family background, spiritual beliefs, or defining life experiences, the details remain vague. Their words paint a picture of depth and connection that is not reflected in their actual investment in the friendship. 8. Always trying to reduce your self-worth. When someone is using you, they frequently make subtle or obvious attempts to chip away at your self-confidence to keep you diminutive and dependent on them. For instance, when you share accomplishments, they find backhanded ways to downplay them, such as saying, "Wow, they must really have low standards at your office," or, "They chose you for that honor? Shocking." Even compliments often embed double-edged diminishments about you needing to improve something. "You have a pretty face, though you'd look even better if you lost some weight," or "Your baking tastes so good for someone who doesn't seem to know how to cook actual meals." They may even sabotage your success behind the scenes and then act surprised when you don't achieve your goal. These people are also prone to comparing you unfavorably to their other friends, relatives, or colleagues. Their criticisms and commentary erode your self-assurance bit by bit, keeping you seeking their approval while they cement their higher status by maintaining your inferiority complex. If you ever surpass them in any way, expect retribution. Now that you know the behaviors of people who only want to use you, how then do you eliminate them from your life? Stoicism provides timeless wisdom on handling relationships with those who seek to exploit us. They teach us to focus first on our own virtue, wisdom, and emotional resilience. Do not allow them to control you by playing the victim card. It's important to recognize that you give such individuals power mainly through the emotional reactions you give them. Work diligently not to act overly surprised, wounded, angry, or bend over backwards to please them after being used. Adopt an attitude of calm assertion rather than dramatics. Apart from that, cultivate inner independence. Build your self-confidence so it does not waver based on the other person's attempts to diminish your worth through criticism or comparison. Value your talents, knowledge, and potential while being humble enough to know their flaws and limitations compared to you. Finally, focus on self-mastery. Rather than trying fruitlessly to control or change the person, put your energy into self-improvement. Grow your integrity, wisdom, patience, assertive communication style. Build skills in various life areas so you operate from a mentality of abundance rather than lack or need for anyone's validation. Conclusion: the ultimate goal is to develop inner stability and emotional separateness from such individuals, where you allow them to be who they are while fully controlling who you are, how they access you, and how much influence they can have. With time, their tactics simply bounce off you because you know your worth. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get more amazing content. See you in the next video.